the nicest things about Korean is that a huge portion of the language follows very specific rules. So once you learn those rules, then the grammar rarely strays. Past tense in Korean thankfully follows this pattern, so unlike English in which some verbs you add ed to make past tense, and other verbs you do like a strange variation or even just a totally new word in general, Korean past tense follows very specific rules that once you learn, you will then know how to put pretty much any verb into its past tense form. Which is great, because then you can start telling stories immediately. Now, past tense sort of builds on the Korean present tense rules, so if you're unfamiliar with how to put verbs into their present tense form, then you might want to go ahead and check out the videos that I have for them linked up here. All of the words that you will need for this video will be in the description box below, and as always, please pause anytime that you need to take more time for each question. And if you are already familiar with this grammar, then you can also go ahead and skip ahead to the practice round right here, but otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. 시작해볼까요? In order to conjugate past tense, we have to start with remembering how to conjugate present tense. So let's go ahead and review those rules first. Here are 5 verbs and their English meanings in case you don't know. We're not going to focus on the meaning of these words just yet. Right now, we're just going to focus on the conjugations, and then we'll practice with the meanings later. So English, get out of here. For these 4 verbs right here, we have to look at the last vowel before ta, which is o, I, O, and A. If the last vowel is either A or O, which would be these 2 right here, then you will drop ta and add A. And then merge if necessary. If the final vowel is not A or O, which would be these 2 right here, then you will drop ta and add O. And once again, merge if necessary. And if a verb ends with 하다, which would be 공부하다, then you will drop 다 and change 하 into 해. Now, if you have never been exposed to the present tense rules, then I imagine that was really confusing. And if that's the case, then I would check out lessons 5, 6, and 7 before this video, in which we go over these grammar rules more slowly, in more detail, and with a lot of practice. Now this here form is the present tense casual form. So if you were talking to your friend and you wanted to say something simple like I eat, you would just say 나는 먹어. But in keeping consistent with our other videos, we will keep this polite by changing 나 into 저. 저 lowers your status in respect to the person who you're talking to, so it's sort of a way of humbling yourself. And then at the end here, we will add 요. 저는 먹어요. Which means to make the rest of these polite, we must add 요. Woo, we did present tense, but what about past tense? One way to look at it is that past tense actually builds off of the present tense. Before you make it polite by adding 요, there's something else that we need to do first. Let's start with 먹어. The first thing we are going to do is add 상시옷 underneath the final character. And then regardless of whatever other vowels are in this word, we are going to add 어. And then now we can make polite by adding 요. 먹었어요. 먹어요 means I eat, and 먹었어요 means I ate. Or this could also mean you ate, he ate, she ate, we ate, they ate. So the past tense rule here that we need to keep in mind is add 써요 to the present tense casual form, with 상시옷 going underneath the final character. So let's put that pattern right up here, and let's go ahead and move on to 마셔. 마셨어요. 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 How about 봐? 봤어요. 봤어요. 가. 갔어요. 갔어요. 공부해. 공부했어요. Now this is the way that I like to teach it, but another way to think of it, and the way that I notice that it's usually taught, is straight from dictionary form, which is definitely an important thing to know. Straight from dictionary form, the only thing that you need to know is that if the final vowel is either a or o, then you will drop ta and add as어요. If the final vowel is not a or o, then you will drop ta and add 없어요. And if a verb ends with 하다, then you will fully drop 하다 and add 했어요. Now let's scooch these rules over just a little bit. And from dictionary form, go ahead and start with 먹다. Now, take your time here. Pause the video if you need to, there's no rush. 먹었어요. 마시다. 마시었어요. But this 시엇, just like present tense, combines into 셨. So now we have 마셨어요. 보다. 보았어요. But again, this 보았 tends to combine into 봤. 봤어요. 가다. Following this rule, it would be 가았어요. But just like we learned in the present tense video, this 가아 sound is far too redundant, and so it's technically incorrect, and it will always merge into 가. So now we have 갔어요. 공부하다. 공부했어요. Alright, 따라해보세요. Please repeat after me. We've got a chart here with the dictionary form on the left, and then we've got present tense and past tense. 따라해보세요. 먹어요. 먹었어요. 마셔요. 마셨어요. 봐요. 봤어요. 가요. 갔어요. 공부해요. 공부했어요. Now, unlike English, in which run becomes ran in the past tense, and listen, you just add ed and it becomes listened, and similarly, watch, you just add ed, but it's not pronounced watched, it's pronounced watched, like with a T. Korean follows the same rules for every single verb. Well, like 99% of the time. There are some irregularities, but even those follow particular rules, and once you've memorized those rules, you'll be set on how to conjugate verbs in both present and past tense. And once you've learned the grammar pattern for future tense, you'll be able to put a verb in any tense just from seeing its dictionary form. So now it's 연습 시간, practice time. Here are the 5 verbs that we just practiced. Let's just start with some easy sentences such as, I studied. 저는 공부했어요. I drank. 저는 마셨어요. I ate. 저는 먹었어요. I saw. 저는 봤어요. I went. 저는 갔어요. One more time, I drank. 저는 마셨어요. I drank water. 저는 물을 마셨어요. 을 being the object particle. Okay, let's get 5 nouns in here so that we can go ahead and make some more complicated sentences. 따라해보세요. Rice is 밥. 밥. Juice is juice. Juice. Bird, 새. 새. Cafe, 카페. 카페. And you might also sometimes hear this one pronounced as 카페. 카페. I've been told that both 카페 and 카페 are correct, but just in my experience alone, I've noticed that I seem to be much more understood whenever I say 카페, so that's how we're going to say it today. Next we have math, which is 수학. 수학. All right, I saw a bird. 저는 새를 봤어요. I drank juice. 저는 주스를 마셨어요. I ate rice. 저는 밥을 먹었어요. I studied math. 저는 수학을 공부했어요. I went to a cafe. And keep in mind the word to here. 저는 카페에 갔어요. Alright, 5 new nouns. 따라해보세요. 빵, bread, 빵. 우유, milk, 우유. 영화, movie, 영화. 병원, hospital, 병원. 과학, science, 과학. And this 학 that's in both math and science is the same 학 that's in 학교, school. All right, I ate bread. 저는 빵을 먹었어요. I drank milk. 저는 우유를 마셨어요. I watched a movie. I saw a movie. 저는 영화를 봤어요. I went to the hospital. 저는 병원에 갔어요. I studied science. 저는 과학을 공부했어요. In the last lesson, we learned how to say and. Do you remember what the word was? 하고. noun, 하고, noun. So how would you say rice and bread? 밥하고 빵. Okay, I ate rice and bread. 저는 밥하고 빵을 먹었어요. I drank juice and milk. 저는 주스하고 우유를 마셨어요. I saw a bird and a movie. What a day. 저는 새하고 영화를 봤어요. I went to a cafe and the hospital. 저는 카페하고 병원에 갔어요. I studied math and science. 저는 수학하고 과학을 공부했어요. Alright, now let's go ahead and learn how to specify some time periods, like today, 오늘, yesterday, 어제, earlier, 아까, and the other day, 저번에. Notice that 저번에 has 에 attached to the end. 저번 means last time, and 에 is just the particle that we use to represent time, kind of like in the English phrase on Sunday. So literally this means on last time. Notice that the other time words do not need the particle 에. Just like in English how we don't say on today, on yesterday, at earlier, in, on, by, and so on. You only need 에 for 저번에, the other day. Or it can also mean last time, or recently, or something that just recently happened in the past. Let's start with the sentence, today I studied, by just starting with I studied. How do you say I studied? 저는 공부했어요. Today is 오늘, but the question is, where does it go in the sentence? The answer is that both spots are okay. Overall, I would say that 오늘 tends to be at the front of the sentence, but as I just said, it can also be after 저는 as well. So here we have 오늘 저는 공부했어요. What do you think about yesterday I ate? 어제 저는 먹었어요. I saw a bird earlier. If you don't remember, the word for bird is 새. 아까 저는 새를 봤어요. Now this order here is perfectly fine, and it's also fine to say 저는 아까 새를 봤어요, which I think for 아까 just happens to be ever so slightly more natural, but again, they're both okay. I saw a bird the other day. And let's use the order I the other day. 저는 저번에 새를 봤어요. Now, in order to keep this from being confusing and worrying about the sentence order, let's start dropping I from sentences. I isn't always necessary to add to sentences if it's clear that you're already talking about yourself. We've been practicing it up to now, but at this point it's just getting redundant and kind of in the way. If you're on this lesson, you've probably already got a good feel for the sentence structure, so we don't need to keep adding 저는, especially when it's dropped so often in Korean. Some of you might even be thinking, oh my gosh, it's about time. And I do apologize for that. So for the rest of this lesson, let's just go ahead and practice it. 저번에 새를 봤어요. Completely ignoring I. I studied earlier. 아까 공부했어요. Yesterday, I watched a movie. 어제 영화를 봤어요. Today, I went to a cafe. 오늘 카페에 갔어요. The other day, I saw my friend. 저번에 친구를 봤어요. Alright, perhaps we've had enough with the verbs we've been practicing. Let's go ahead and get some new verbs in here. The word for verbs in Korean is 동사. 동사. So 5 new 동사. We've got 일어나다, 청소하다, 만나다, 싸다, and 찾다. Let's not worry about sentences right now. Let's just go ahead and put them in the past tense to keep it easy. So here is our set of rules one more time, and we'll go ahead and put them way up here. The word for get up is 일어나다. How would you say got up in polite form? 일어났어요. And just like 가다, this na, a vowel is far too redundant and it just merges into na. 일어났어요. 청소하다. 청소했어요. 만나다. 만났어요. Again, this na, a vowel merges together. 사다. 샀어요. And not 사았어요. 샀어요. 찾다. 찾았어요. Alright, let's go ahead and start making some sentences beginning with 오늘, aka today I blah blah blah. Today I got up. And again, we're not going to use I. 오늘 일어났어요. Today I met my friend. 오늘 친구를 만났어요. And if you want, you also could have added in here 저의 or 제 for my friend. Today I bought a book. 오늘 책을 샀어요. Today I found a cat. The word for cat is 고양이. 오늘 고양이를 찾았어요. Today I cleaned. 오늘 청소했어요. Alright, and now it's time to practice everything that we have done so far. Bam! We've got our time words, our nouns, and our verbs. And the order that you will make these longer sentences is first the time adverbs, followed by the object of the sentence, and finally the verb. Let's start with today I bought juice. 오늘 주스를 샀어요. Yesterday, I met my friend. 어제 친구를 만났어요. I ate bread earlier. 아까 빵을 먹었어요. The other day, I went to a cafe. 저번에 카페에 갔어요. I cleaned yesterday. 어제 청소했어요. I studied math earlier. 아까 수학을 공부했어요. Yesterday, I studied science. 어제 과학을 공부했어요. Today, I drank juice. 오늘 주스를 마셨어요. Yesterday, I went to the hospital. 어제 병원에 갔어요. And now let's go ahead and summarize. When you want to make something past tense, there are two ways that you can think of doing it. Adding 써요 to the present tense, in which the 상시옷 plus 어 makes it past tense and then the 요 just makes it polite. So for example, 먹다, in present tense we say 먹어요. And to make it past tense, we go ahead and split these apart here and we add 써 in there. 먹었어요. Or you could think of it from dictionary form, in which it depends on the final vowel. If the final vowel is either a or o, then you will drop 다 and add as어요. But if the final vowel is not a or o, then you will drop 다 and add 었어요. And if a verb ends with 하다, then you will completely drop 하다 and you will add 했어요. And as for these words here to represent time, the order doesn't entirely matter as long as the verb still comes at the end. But just to make it easy for the rest of the lesson, let's go ahead and drop I, just to keep our sentences a little simpler. Is simpler a word? More simple? And finally, here are all the words that we practiced today. Feel free to pause here to write these down, or you could always screenshot them, because it's now time for our practice party! Keep in mind that the practice party is always faster, so please pause anytime that you need, because this will be a lot faster and I'm not going to give you quite as much time to think. Let's start simple with just putting these 12 verbs into the polite past tense. Don't worry about their meanings just yet. Just go ahead and conjugate them using the rules that we've just been practicing. Starting with 먹다. 먹었어요. 마시다. 마셨어요. 보다. 봤어요. 가다. 갔어요. 공부하다. 공부했어요. 일어나다. 일어났어요. 만나다. 만났어요. 청소하다. 청소했어요. 만들다. 만들었어요. 싸우다. 싸웠어요. 놀다. 놀았어요. 세탁하다. 세탁했어요. And in case you don't know any of these words, here are their meanings if you want to pause and write them down. Now let's go ahead and move on to some very easy sentences using I plus a verb. And go ahead and use I just for these short sentences here. Starting with, I cleaned. 저는 청소했어요. I ate. 저는 먹었어요. I went. 저는 갔어요. I bought. 저는 샀어요. And now let's go ahead and add some objects to the sentence. I bought juice. 저는 주스를 샀어요. I studied math. 저는 수학을 공부했어요. I drank milk. 저는 우유를 마셨어요. I watched a movie. 저는 영화를 봤어요. I went to a cafe. 저는 카페에 갔어요. I went to the hospital. 저는 병원에 갔어요. I ate bread. 저는 빵을 먹었어요. And now let's see how well you can remember these words. I ate rice. 저는 밥을 먹었어요. I studied math. 저는 수학을 공부했어요. I watched a movie. 저는 영화를 봤어요. I saw a bird. 저는 새를 봤어요. I studied science. 저는 과학을 공부했어요. And now let's go from these easy sentences to some longer sentences by adding our time adverbs. Remember that the order will be first the time, followed by the object, and finally the verb. Yesterday, I cleaned. And just to keep it simple, let's go ahead and take out I. 어제 청소했어요. Today, I ate bread. 오늘 빵을 먹었어요. Yesterday, I watched a movie. 어제 영화를 봤어요. I drank milk earlier. 아까 우유를 마셨어요. I went to a cafe the other day. 저번에 카페에 갔어요. Wait a minute. Who's that? Why, it's alien friend, aka 외계인 친구. 외계인 친구는 오늘 뭐 했어요? What do you think this sentence here means? What did alien friend do today? Based on this picture, 외계인 친구는 오늘 뭐 했어요? 외계인 친구는 우유를 마셨어요. 외계인 친구는 영화를 봤어요. or TV를 봤어요. 외계인 친구는 청소했어요. 외계인 친구는 친구를 만났어요. or 친구를 봤어요. 외계인 친구는 오늘 뭐 했어요? 외계인 친구는 로켓을 샀어요. Good! Great job today as always, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.